Tonight at the table, I'm joined by an entrepreneur who represents a new generation of builders, hands-on and self-made. What started as a neighborhood lawn mowing hustle has grown into a full-scale landscaping and turf care operation. Built from the ground up through discipline, consistency, and real work ethic. His growth and leadership have earned him the recognition as a VISTA Next Gen superstar. And tonight, we're diving into what it actually takes to turn sweat equity into a sustainable business. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you, Chase Gallagher.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Awesome, thank you. Chase, my friend.
Christian.
Thank you so much for joining me, buddy.
I feel like I'd be such a bad actor because I would just be laughing the whole time.
That's it, you gotta lock in sometimes.
Yes,
dude. You gotta
100%.
lock in, bro. Well, first things first, we haven't even got a chance to really get to know each other too much.
Right.
So tell me about your early life growing up.
Yeah.
Just how you got to this point here.
Well, I grew up in Chester Springs, not too far away from your new pizza restaurant, and Ludwig's Corner. Grew up, middle-class family, in the Reserve, which is right across from the Lexus dealership, and I got started in the lawn care landscaping space at 13, just passing out, flyers in the mailboxes of my neighbors. I was watching this guy on YouTube named Geek to Freak, and this was like a 40-year-old dude, had like 2 kids, he had like 50 lawns. It was just himself, and like I would every day after school I'd watch him, and I thought this guy was God. I would like study him and comment on all his videos. So one day he offered to, put up like a flyer that his audience could use, basically. Like email him and he'll send his flyer out. So I emailed him, got his flyer, like that's how I got started. I put my name on it, obviously. And my mom would print out like thousands of these at work, like late at work, bring them home. Over the winter months, I would bundle them up, put them in garbage cans, and then in the springtime, we started passing them out.
Wow, 13.
Yeah.
You were doing this.
Yep.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was doing at 13. What do you think, because you started so young, why do you think you knew hard work was so important even back then?
So even before that, Christian, my mom, both my parents, had full-time jobs and they would work very long hours. So it got to a point when I was like 9 or 10, like my mom would start delegating like household, responsibilities to me. And I loved it. She would pay me $2 to like do the garbage every week in the house. She would pay me $2 to do this and this. And I kept like asking for more and more. So she developed like a little chore sheet and she'd put on the kitchen cabinets, and every week I would do all these chores and just mark it on my list. And at the end of each week, I get paid for those chores. So like that was started when I was 9. And so I think I just got, I loved that a lot. So I think that's where it started.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
Thank you to Mom.
Yes, huge thank you.
Well, to piggyback off that, did you always have big aspirations?
I would say so, 100%. Like I remember when I was like 10, I would always YouTube like how to make money, and I had this envision where I had like a lawn care company across like the entire world. Like I had locations in Italy and stuff like that.
That's amazing. In Italy.
In Italy, I remember like Italy, all sorts of places. I would be doing the math on like a little napkin, like how to be a $1 billion company. I'd be like, I don't know if I fully recognized the math, but I was like adding up like what I'd have to make a month, a year, you know what I mean, stuff like that.
Yeah. So like actually visualizing it.
Yes.
Like being realistic about the steps to get there.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people talk a big game. They say they want to do this or do that, but they suffer from inertia. Like it never gets done. They just sit still. What do you think separates those who talk a big game versus those who actually pursue dreams such as yourself?
That's such a great question. And, do I have the answer? I'm not sure. It really comes down to like that person's want level. How bad do they want it, and how much are they willing to endure to get to that level?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, both of us, I'm sure, have grown up with people and guys that talk about this and talk about that, but they haven't made the first step to even going in that direction. And like at this point in my life, like this was like 4 years ago where my favorite word became execution. Because like I'm sure you have buddies just like I do, and everybody I hang out with, not everybody, but everyone has like an idea. And I don't shoot people's ideas down. I just say like, ideas are worthless because you haven't done anything with it. You know what I'm saying? So my favorite word is execution, because that's the only thing that matters in this world, to produce something of value.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. It's something that I struggled with for a while, to execute. What motivates you?
That's a good question too. I don't know. I mean, obviously I like to make money, but I think bigger than that, it's just the challenge. Like, can I get to that next phase? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I get to having 5 crews in a day? Can I get to having 100K snowstorms? Can I get, different things? And it's like, what do I have to problem solve to get to that point? It's a challenge amongst myself. It's just like when I go for long runs, like when I first started running, I'd do 2, 3, 4, 5 miles, and I'd be like, oh, I could never run 10. And then I'd start going 8, 10, 12, 15. And it's just like, you keep challenging yourself.
Yeah. Do you think that has something to do with like a competitive nature?
100%. I would say I'm pretty competitive. But it depends on the type of stuff. Like if I go to the gym and I'm like looking at the 250 dude like benching, I'm not, it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah. Realistic at least.
Yeah.
So your company's doing very well.
Yeah.
You were on the path to acquiring these goals that you're referring to previously. In such a saturated market, what separates your business?
Well, people, number one, which includes myself. But number two, I think we really focus on the basics. We're not some we don't have any secret sauce, Christian. It's really the basics. Are we answering our phone when it rings? Are we turning our estimates around in 24 hours? Are going back to doing what you say? That's like one of our core values. If you're not going to do it, don't speak the words out of your mouth, because it goes in the opposite direction. You become a liar. So doing stuff like that, like if I tell a client, if you're my client and I'm on your property, like I'm not going to tell you I can get that job done in 2 weeks if I can't, or do that type of project if I can't.
Okay. People can trust you. You're consistent.
Speed, execution. I think we're just a little bit different than most landscapers as far as communication, execution on their project, everything.
When you said people, do you mean your employees, your staff?
Yeah.
What are you looking for? Good people.
That's a good question. I look for people that can take accountability. I look for people that are wanting and willing to learn. I look for people that are interested and show an urge to show up, be early, do the right thing, stuff like that. I mean, obviously I've experienced guys on my team that know the ins and outs of hardscaping, planting, concrete work, drainage stuff, but as we grow, not every person has to be that skillful, if that makes any sense. So at this point, especially in my management team, I'm looking for people that have accountability. Hey, I made a mistake. If we're having a conversation, what's the solution? How can we move past that? So, and as a leader, I understand everyone's going to make mistakes. It took me a little while to you figure out that it's going to consistently happen, but that's what happens. And in my company, I just say, hey, be accountable, take action, and problem solve.
Very cool. Would you say that you look to be a mentor to a lot of people that you bring in? You want to help them to grow?
100%. And I think maybe it's the way I operate, but I definitely have the ability to mentor some of my people, and I need to find the right environment to do that. Most of the times I'm on job sites or in operations meetings or stuff like that, but I should do more of that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say the right environment, are you saying day to day, just the physical location of when to mentor somebody?
Yes. It's that, and it's also the right time. Like one of my new guys, Christian, he's exactly what I just described. Wants to learn, hustles, tries new things, and he's a young guy. And it's he's a perfect mentee. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Shout out Christian.
Christian's a good guy.
Shout out Christian.
We might be, him and his buddies are probably watching this.
I hope so. Thank you so much. Dang.
Wow.
Dang.
Enjoy.
Let's go.
So it just has to be the right environment. I'm not gonna Like, I'm not going to pull them aside on jobs and be like, yo, dude, make sure you wear a condom this weekend. Like, I'm not going to do that. But, you know, outside of like that, we'll go to my cigar lounge place and hang out, and we'll have operations meeting, and then I'll be like, try to have like less businessy conversation, like more life mentoring is
Absolutely.
what I think when you're saying that.
That's cool. I think that's important.
Yeah,
That it would translate outside of just work.
100%.
I feel like I want to do that here at our restaurant as well. Mentor young staff.
Yeah,
Help them
because
to grow into better people.
Because, you know, unfortunately, I already mentioned his name, but, you know, in his situation, he has very similar stuff to me. Divorced parents, step parents. So a lot of the things that I'm sure he goes through, I've already been through. And so separate from business about, yo, Christian, like start delegating your 401k as soon as possible at 18. You know, I can help these guys with other things for sure. Or just even my other, you know, Spanish team members, problem solving with housing or different situations that might go through, or connections that they need, things like that.
Just being there when they need you.
Yes.
Very cool. So we were talking about mentoring people,
Yeah.
young people. Mm-hmm. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to mess up.
Yes.
How do you handle mistakes, maybe costly ones, now versus when you first got started?
That's an amazing question. Well, when I first got started, like, you know, you're so new, and especially at my age, like, you're so new to life that just because I knew how to pick up an edging shovel or do certain things or even load a trailer, didn't mean my team members at the time, who were my buddies, knew how to do that either. So if they made a mistake, I'd be flipping out, extremely stressed. Today, it's almost like I'm like, you know, in a weird way, I'm wanting my team members to make more mistakes quicker so we can step back for a second. Hey, what did we learn? Hey, here's how to do that. Or, you know, what would be a better path to completing that task? That way their skill level is higher quicker.
Absolutely. What is something about running a service-based business that outsiders completely misunderstand?
I think, so here's an analogy. It's not an answer, but when I say to people I'm a landscaper, you know, we'll be at dinner or something, meeting new people, and they'll be like, oh, okay, like how many lawnmowers do you own or something like that. And I don't own a single lawnmower. Haven't mowed lawns in 6 years, so I think it's like, maybe when people hear about a landscaper, for instance, they're thinking I'm like smoking pot on my lunch break and like, you know, playing Morgan Wallen in the skid steer, which I am, but, well, I'm not smoking pot, but I'm just saying like, you get what I'm saying? It's like, it's way more sophisticated, and I'm like almost like my own private equity company within my landscaping business, where I'm like looking at my KPIs weekly. I'm looking at what type of staff members I need in 6, 8, 12 months. I'm looking at all sorts of stuff. A little bit differently than I'm sure like the outsider person that's never owned a landscaping company would look at it.
Yeah. I get it. We were talking about you helping people, helping your staff to grow.
Yeah.
When I was doing some research in preparation for this, I was looking at your social media, your Instagram and your YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's popping. And I saw a lot of the stuff was you're trying to help other business owners. Why is that? Why is that important to you?
I think there's a larger impact for someone like myself to mentor and coach other business owners that were in the same spot as myself, compared to like getting someone's patio installed. That's huge too, and you're changing that family's lives as well. But how that all got started was I was just posting on social media, just like you're going to do with this. And then the demand was there. I kept getting messages, and I could only answer so many messages like on DMs or whatever. Then I started offering like one-on-one calls, and then it turned into a program, and now it's been, you know, I've been mentoring people and coaching people for 2 years now, 2-3 years.
Right. That's awesome, man. Really, really cool.
But these guys, you know, that are been in my program for 2-3 years, it's not a consistent thing. They started 2-3 years ago. Like Chris Goslin in Texas, I mean, he's had enough. He's built his business now where it's bigger than mine, number one, and he makes a ton of money. But more than that, like he had money for a wedding, so he got married. He has 2 children now. He's bought like 2 or 3 houses on his same block. Like these guys, like lives really change.
And I'm sure that's super rewarding.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, describe to me your program.
Service Pro Elite is an online coaching platform for landscapers and lawn care business owners who are looking to scale towards the $1 million plus per year mark in revenue. A lot of my clients in that business are people that own a lawn mowing business and they have 40 to 80 lawn mows, but they realize like they hit a ceiling with that, which is the same position I was in. And so I teach them and coach them how to maybe sell that side of their business or max it out and then switch their main marketing and promoting to, hardscaping, design and build, which is where the money's at. Where your average ticket, like when I go out on an estimate, I'm not selling someone a $45 lawn mow. I'm selling them a $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 project, or I'm selling them a $2,500 design, and then we're going to sell them a $100,000 install.
Mm-hmm. At any point when you were first getting into it, did you consider not scaling so big and just staying small? Did you thought maybe that would just be easier to do?
In the very beginning, that's like kind of what happened. Like I had these big aspirations when I was 13, and like my first year in the business, I got kicked in the ass so bad.
When you were 13?
Yeah.
I bet, dude.
I was like, dude, I just remember, like, if I showed you a photo of what I looked like when I started my business, it still has not been released on the internet. But like, you would be like, wait, what the like, it's just.
What do you mean?
I was the opposite of what I looked like. I was like literally 5'3", 5'4", and I was almost 300 pounds. I was like 285 pounds.
Really?
Yes. I was a massive kid. I hit puberty late, so, I was like knocking on these doors and like answering these calls. It was like, I had so much anxiety. It was like crazy. I remember my first phone call. I had like two phones. So I had like my personal phone and my business phone. And I sat there in my mom's TV room for like 45 minutes, building up the courage to call this guy back. My first call. And like literally, I called him back and I was stuttering so bad, the guy thought he had the wrong number and just hung up the phone, dude. I was like, so like that's where I got started.
Man, that was brave 13-year-old.
That was 10, 11 years ago. And I'm like, it is shocking sometimes if you look back from like that.
Yeah. Would you say because you had to put yourself out there, because you had to run the business, that sort of accelerated your growth? Like I didn't realize when we first met how young you were. Mm-hmm. Do you think that made you mature faster?
That exact sentence, Christian. Like, I realized from that first phone call, like, I had to completely change my tonality. I remember I had to, like, speak way above my age. That's why I speak like I do now, because I've been doing this since 13, like, trying to, put on a different persona so my clients don't realize that I was 13.
Right.
I figured out that the phone call was not my strength, so I would have people call. Like, they would call, leave a voicemail, and I would text them immediately, just saying, hey, I'm in a meeting or something. Send me your address. I'll send you a quote for the lawnmower. And then my mom would get home from work. We'd drive by that night, and then I'd send them, like, text the quote. So, like,
bro,
my first 15 clients, they didn't really even talk to me before they hired me.
That's awesome, dude.
It's just, my life is crazy.
Bro.
That sounds crazy looking back.
That's amazing.
But that's how bad I wanted it. Going back to your first question, that's how bad I wanted this business.
Wow. Yeah, it's almost like when I asked this question about scaling, I'm like, no way. He always wanted to be huge. If you're starting at 13 and you're doing that stuff, like, you have big dreams. Mm-hmm. That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You're already doing great things.
Yeah.
What do you think in the next 5 to 10 years, what does success look like to you?
Business success or?
A little bit of both, actually. Tell me personal and business.
Business, I would say 5 to 10 was the.
Yes, sir.
I'll probably end up selling my landscaping business and going into like some sort of private equity strategy of my own, where I help my students like grow their business, and basically either we all bundle ours together and sell it to PE, or help them individually sell it. Personally, 10 years, probably have a family, like be married, have kids. Mm-hmm. Maybe travel a little bit more, like relax a little bit more.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. So private equity has always been something you're very interested in.
It wasn't in the beginning. And then in the past 4 years, I would say I've been learning more and more about it. And I've been trying to put myself in that world a little bit, just getting around people that are in it or people that have sold their businesses to it. And I think even in the past 3 to 5 months, Christian, private equity has been they did their thing with HVAC. And now they're starting to move into landscaping. So I think our run will be the next 5 years, 10 years.
Okay. You're saying private equity firms are now targeting HVAC initially and now going after landscaping?
They're still buying HVACs, but like during COVID, if you own an HVAC company that was like a real company, you had like office, sales reps, you know, infield techs, you could get a 12, 15 multiple on your net profit. So if you were netting $1 million, you were getting $12, $15 million wired to your account, or 10 million and then a payout. So I think the landscaper's time is coming now for that.
Gotcha. And you didn't go to college or anything, did you?
No, I didn't go to college, and I did convince my mom to let me drop out of high school, go into physical school when I was 16 and a half because I got my driver's license. So that's another thing in my story. I did 2 years just working in my business, like ever since I had my driver's license.
You dropped out of school?
I dropped out of going to school, and I did online high school. So I still have like a GED,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But I would work all day,
Yeah.
and I'd come home and do my schooling at night. Like I'd Google the Quizlet and all that.
Okay. Wow, man. Do you want to stay in this area?
I really like this area.
Yeah.
The Philly main line, like we're 2 hours from the beach, you know, 2 hours from New York City, DC, but I think I'll be I kind of am a snowbird right now where I try to spend most of the winter in Florida, but this winter it hasn't worked out like that. But I really like Naples, Tampa.
Yeah, I was going to ask where in Florida. I'm a South Florida guy.
You like Miami?
Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
I think it's my favorite city in the United States of America.
Why is that?
The sun, it gives me life, dude.
Same, bro.
You know what I mean? I feel more alive. Fort Lauderdale, everybody's happy. Everybody's beautiful. Everything's just like a good time. The vibes are just immaculate. Every time I go down there, I don't want to come home. I'm like,
I know.
Maybe I'll move here. But I'm such a family person that I could never do that. Eventually, I'll do as you're saying, buy a house down there, go down there when I can. But for now, I'll be close to the family, do the family business.
Right.
Yeah.
No, Florida's beautiful. I love like you're saying, especially in the wintertime, getting out of here where like everything's dead and cloudy days, going down to Florida, getting tan, like going to the gym in the morning, like, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. Well, I'll see you down there. I appreciate you coming on, buddy. Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure. You're doing great things. Can't wait to see what the future holds for you.
You as well, brother. I love the suit.
Thank you, pal.